So I'm here today to talk about Gaiwans and how they're very beneficial compared to any Western style brewing. Uh, once, once you have a chance to use a stainless steel infuser or something that allows your tea to open up and you want to take the next step, best way to do it is with a Gaiwan. It allows you to steep multiple times, and it's very, very short steep times. Typically, I only steep my tea maybe 4 to 15 seconds the first time. Then you just add on 4 seconds each progressive steep that you have. So I wanted to show you this Gaiwan today, the glass Gaiwan. This is one of the hardest Gaiwans I've ever used. I burn the crap out of my hands all of the time, and it's a great starter because then when you have a lot easier Gaiwans to use, it doesn't burn your hands, and you have a perfect technique because there's only a certain way to hold this Gaiwan where you won't burn your hands. So I just want to make that super aware, or I want to make you super aware of this coming to fruition, because I'm probably going to do it again. Probably maybe 1 out of 5 I burn my hands. So today I wanted to use a tea that would go good with Gaiwans, and that typically to me is either oolongs, pu'ers, or green teas, but mostly I go with the oolongs because I get to see how much they open up and taste the different flavors throughout the steeps. This is a really advanced technique of using and steeping tea, and it's more to the style of Gong Fu Cha, which is more of an Eastern style, kind of an art in the way that you steep your tea. So today I wanted to show you how I use my Gaiwan and see if you have any questions, see if there's any things that you might want to try, or if there's any different teas that you might want to see in a Gaiwan. I can make specific videos for that as well. So let's get started. First, I've chosen today my Yaxiang, which is a Dansang Oolong. It is from a high mountain area of the Guangdong province in China. China is typically the area where you get most of your teas and your cultivars, and also it's one of the best places that still have tea. They even have a top 10 tea list of their famous teas, and it's great. I recommend checking it out. I can even add a extra feature in the bottom of this. So let's first start with the Yaxiang. I wanted to show you too. There is a specific name to this one. Normally when they're dealing with high mountain Dansang oolongs, you name it after the flavor, the aroma that the tea produces. For this one, it was very delicate, and the original farmer and cultivator wanted to keep it secret and only wanted to keep it amongst their friends. They noticed people were trying to steal the plant because of its high quality, and so what they did was they were asked questions from the locals and people that were very interested in the tea. They were asked, hey, how do you grow your tea? Why is this so great? All this. And the farmer said, hey, I grew it in duck shit. And that's why it has this name. Duck shit usually looks like or the soil that's used for this tea resembles duck shit. So I want to move forward with this. It is a 90-year-old plant. It was picked and produced in April of 2017. So just about a year ago, it was picked and processed. So moving forward, here's the Gaiwan I plan on using today. It is a glass Gaiwan so that you can see inside. I want to start with the Yaxiang. Normally it's about 2 to 4 tablespoons, but I'm going to kind of eye it out because I do this a lot. So let's just throw about that much in there. Now typically you want to have about 3 times the space of dry tea so that it has room to expand. I put about this much in there. You're welcome to test it out, but I've noticed that this is the best kind for me. Typically I give it a nice little smell, close my eyes and get lost in it. I want to know that this tea is still high quality and that it still has a flavor aroma and that I stored it correctly. Now storage with this tea, typically you want to have a light, a dark space or container that's light tight and airtight. This will allow your tea to last about 2 years. I've seen it anywhere from a couple of months based on the quality of the tea to I've seen the 2 year and it still has flavor and aroma. When you lose the flavor, that means it's probably bad tea. Not bad tea, it's probably expired or gone further. So I want to start. I already said that I had given it a smell, but really where the smell comes out is when you are able to put some boiling water on there. So the first step that I'm going to do is I'm going to add the water and do a quick rinse. Typically, for me, this is half meditative, half kind of my process here. And when people do the rinse, it's to clear out any impurities from any of the processing. Boiling water will, or close to boiling water will, mainly kill anything that would be in there. I am not fearful. I've never had any issues. I just wanted to let you know that a lot of people do it that way. I also do it because it allows the tea to open up and you get the flavor aroma and I get lost in the aroma. So first I want to do just a quick rinse. Unfortunately I have paper cups, not my ideal way of using it, but not at home, so we don't need to tell anybody. I will recycle, I promise. Okay, first I'm going to wet the leaves just enough so that they're wet. Now this is less than boiling water because I don't want to burn the leaves. Now I take it, and I will show you this technique in a minute, but I want to quickly get this away from the tea so that it can have its chance to open up. Now the color is kind of a reddish brown, if you will. You can see it right here. This is the discard. I most likely would not drink this just because it's part of the ritual for me. Okay, we're at the step after the rinse where you can fully see that it's trying to open up. The tea leaves are a little bit more expansive. It kind of doubled in size. And this is normally the time where I really get the aroma, really get lost into it, and it's a very meditative process for me. So I just close my eyes and give it a couple of whiffs because this is when the aroma really gets off. Wow, I can get lost in that all day. Okay, so first, after your rinse, you typically want to start your first steep, and the first steep can be anywhere, if you're using oolongs, it can be anywhere from 4 to 15 seconds. Now, when you're using the Eastern style, sometimes it goes 2 to 4 minutes, and you can maybe get a couple infusions out of that if you use a teapot or if you use the stainless steel infuser, that works too. Anywhere, as long as you have room to open up your tea, that's very important. But when we're using a Gaiwan, this allows us to have multiple steeps and multiple cups and multiple sessions. So I want to share with you the first part of what I do. Typically after I take a smell from the rinse, I will go back in here and do it, for this tea I would do about 15 seconds or so. And then as you go along, you start noticing different flavors and you start adding extra seconds to it. So I add 4 extra seconds to each consecutive steep. And with this tea, I can get around 2 to, not even 2. I can get around 10 to 15 steeps. And I've tested this multiple times. It goes anywhere between that 10 and 15 mark. So here's my first one. Sometimes I have a timer. Most of the time I don't, and I kind of just think about it and I count. So this one I'm going to do for 14 seconds, and then I'll show you the result. So I try to go around the tea and not directly on top of it. I don't want to burn it or anything. But you can kind of see, and I'll show you really quick, that this is kind of opening up a little bit more. Now, I've had it in there for about 10 seconds. I'm going to try to do it I'm gonna try to do a little bit more. I'm gonna get this a little closer for you so you can see my technique. Okay, we've been there. Now this is the top of the Gaiwan. I wanted to just show you that, like, normally people, they'll move it around to clear out some of the bubbles and kind of allow the other stuff that's on the bottom to open up. And then when you do it, you want to have a little bit of a gap when you put this down, not directly down because nothing will come out, but have it a little angled so that none of the tea will come out. It's okay if it does. I'm gonna grab another cup here just so that we have something bigger. Again, paper I will recycle. Okay, so typically what I do is I take my two fingers, my thumb and my ring finger, and I put them on the sides like this, so that if you can lift it, and again, this has gone a little too much longer, but it's okay. There'll be a little more flavor, and it'll be a little bit bitter for me, but I wanted to show you this technique on the first one. So these two fingers, and then you put this top right here and make sure it's a little angled, and then you can tip it and pour it. Now, a lot of the times I burn my hand on this one. It's burning a little bit, but that's okay. I wanted to show you this. So when I have it angled, look, see, there's a little bit of a gap in there you can barely see, but that's where the water comes out. And now you can see that the tea leaves are a little bit more open. So this is kind of the color of it. I'm gonna give it a taste to see if it's good. First, I'll take a sniff as well. I'm gonna reset this for you. Okay, this is a different angle. Okay, so I'm gonna give this a little bit of a steep, or a little bit of a taste and see. Now, the first steep is not normally my favorite because it's very highly concentrated. It has a lot more caffeine than consecutive steeps. Typically, when I get around the fifth or sixth steep with this tea, you start noticing the fruit notes. I really like that. The fifth or sixth steep is very much my favorite. You can keep going along and keep doing this as long as there is still flavor in your tea and it has a color. Obviously, this is the first one, so it's going to have a very robust, full color. I will show you one more time what these tea leaves look like. As you get to the fifth or sixth one, that's when these little morsels start opening up and you start seeing a little tea leaf. Let me see if I can jump this. Oh, no, it broke. Okay, so normally I can show you this, and I like to, when they're done, if I'm in nature or somewhere related to nature, like a tea house or something, I will take these out at the end of the end of the session, which is around 12. I said 10 to 15, so around the 12 mark. And I'll put these on a rock nearby from the river, and I'll go into them and I'll open them up and I'll pay attention to how I feel and what the tea leaves are telling me. Okay, so I wanted to thank you. Right now, I am gonna keep doing my tea session, and I'll give you an update and let you know how it goes. But if you have any questions, please reach out to me. info@boulderteashop.com.